Stay please, thank you.
So, hi, my name is Daniela.
Hello, my name is Pedro Zigan.
Hello, my name is
Emmanuel Chukmakchin, and I'm a member of the USA Senior Artistic Swimming National Team. I just want to be completely transparent with you right now. I will be labeling my sport artistic swimming as synchro when I'm discussing my experiences. There was actually a name change in 2017 that changed our sport's name from synchronized swimming to artistic swimming. So my whole life before that, I called it synchro. So I'm very used to it and it's very natural for me. So I don't want you to be confused and thinking like I'm doing different sports. No, it's completely the same thing. And I just want to make you aware of it right now so you're not confused.
I started synchro when I was 5 years old, and I made my first national team in 2012 as an 11-12 athlete, and I've been on a national team every year since. I went from 11-12 to 13-15 to junior to senior, and this is my second year training full-time with the team I am currently with now.
I've been on this team for about 3.5 years. I started synchro when I was 7, and I started because my mom used to swim in synchro when she was in college, and she got me into it when she started coaching a team.
And I have been on national team for about 6 years now. And I've done synchro for about 14, I'd say, out of my 18, because I started, I think, swimming when I was around 4.
I've been doing synchro for 12, almost 13 years now, and I started when I was 5 years old.
So I'm 18 now, and I started the sport when I was 5. So I can confidently say that I don't know what my life is like without the sport, and that's pretty neat. I made my first national team when I was 11 in 2013, and made it for a second time in 2015, and have made it ever since then. I made the senior national team at age of 14 in 2016. So I was the second youngest to make the team. And this was a really, really big accomplishment for me, but not necessarily because of the prestige of making the senior national team, but because it meant a change of direction in my life. So I had to move from Connecticut to California to train full-time with the senior national team. And on top of that, complete all of my high school education online. So that was a really big decision for me, and I don't regret it at all. I am very thankful to have gotten this opportunity, and I do not regret it or would change it in a lifetime.
My relationship with my teammates is meaningful because I know that when I am working for something greater. And when I am pushing myself, it's not just for me, but for the girls around me.
Overall, I think the national team has been the best synchro experience I've ever had in my life, just because it has been something that I've always aspired to be. It holds you to the highest standard that you could be at, and yeah, it's just something that I've always wanted to be on national team. I've always aspired to be here, and to finally get there and have it be so encouraging and so accepting, and just an overall a really great environment to grow as a person and as a swimmer first and foremost. And yeah,
some of the most rewarding things in this sport is being able to change the norm of synchro a little bit. And with our robots routine, we have so many new moves and new things that the sport hasn't really seen before. So it definitely brings up our USA rep, and that's just the most rewarding thing. Practice with the coaches and the team is always fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could be definitely hard all the time, but it's definitely so fun to train with them because they're always laughing and we always make jokes and it's always like a really good mood.
The hardest thing for me was more traveling, like moving across the country because I'm from Boston originally. So when I first moved out here, I didn't have any friends besides my teammates. But no, it was hard in the moment, but it also made, you know, my entire life synchro. Like I only thought about synchro, only focused on synchro. So, you know, I didn't mind not having any free time for the first like 2 years, but the past 2 years, I've made more friendships and it's been really nice to have like, you know, more of a balance.
I think synchro is challenging because the end results or the outcome is the combination of many, many things. There's the technical aspect, there's the artistry, there's the physical conditioning, and there's the awareness and the accountability needed when you swim with 7 other girls around you.
Well, yeah, it was pretty hard to get on this team. I don't have the perfect synchro body. The perfect synchro body is to be tall and skinny, and I'm the complete opposite. I'm short and muscular. So it's definitely hard when at a young age you know that this is an advantage for you. But I didn't see it as a disadvantage, honestly. Like, now that I think about it, I saw it as a way that I could fight, and it was a challenge. So I'm a person that loves challenges. I thrive in them. They're like the best thing for me. So yeah, this was a challenge for me, but no, I knew I couldn't stop. I loved the sport so much, and I wanted to be able to become the most successful that I possibly could. And yeah, maybe I don't have the stereotypical synchro body, but who's to say that I can't be good? So yeah, even though it was something that was against me, it pushes me still today to work harder and just to show that, like, you don't need to follow stereotypes. You can be anything you want to be. Just have to go for it and not let anyone stop you.
I deal with stress by spinning it. I look at it as a call to action of sorts. It can help me do something better or do something quicker. I think it can be detrimental and it can make you feel like everything is going against you, but I think it's important to try to use it to your advantage. I take care of my mental health by knowing my outlets. I have certain people I go to talk through certain things. For me, if I am overwhelmed by something, it helps me to go swim just straight laps for an hour just to clear my mind. Just know what helps you when you are feeling certain things, and if you have these plans set in place, it's a lot more comfortable when you run into tricky situations or emotions or things that make you feel uncomfortable.
So I think the way that I deal with stress is I'm a very head-on person. So if something's going on or something's wrong, I will face it pretty head-on. So if I'm really stressed about something, I'll sort of like deal with, like, I don't even know how to like explain how I deal with stress. I think if I'm really stressed at a competition, I will go to my teammates and I'll say, hey, I want to find someone to relate to. So if I'm going through something at school and I'm getting really stressed about it, I might go to like a teacher or my parents or something and like try and be relatable with them to know that I'm not suffering through this for the first time ever in history. Like, even if it's something specific to me, there's something that is always going to be relatable to other people. There's always going to be someone to help you. And I think that's how I deal with stress. Internally, that's like the external way that I deal with stress. I think internally, I tend to journal a lot. So if I'm really stressed about something, I'll journal about it. And sometimes writing it out, you tend to, like, if you read it back, you'll notice what you're actually thinking and what the real problem is behind your stress. So like you think that you're stressed about school and getting it done, but really it's about like the outcome of what happens when you don't. So I think that's how I deal with stress, is really confronting it head on and figuring out what my problem is and dealing with it from there. Just recognizing the problem, whether or not that be an eating disorder, like really bad stress because of your family, like something's going on in your brain, you don't really know what's going on. A lot of times your mental health is affected by what's going on, like with other people too. Like sometimes when other people are sad around you and they're bringing negative energy around you, you think something's wrong with you because all of a sudden you're in this bad mood. But a lot of times you have to recognize, like, oh, something's going on with her, something's going on with him, and it's really affecting me. So you need to separate your mental health with other people's and figure out a way to externalize it in some way.
Personally, the way that I deal with stress really depends on the situation. When I'm in a competitive setting, the way I deal with stress is by giving positive thoughts to my mind. I kind of just like remind myself that the reason why I'm stressed is because I want to be better and I want to have a good performance. So just like repeating that in my mind calms me down. And also I tell myself I've done this for my whole life, every single day. So what's one more competition is just a way to show what I've done. So I believe that mental health is like the icing to the cake to life. That's it for you. I think it's so important. It's just as important as physical health and emotional health, because I believe that the mind dictates everything. So taking care of my mind is very important to me, and it's something that I focus on a lot. I've kind of tested a lot of things. Our coaches are like really help us figure out parts of ourselves and orient ourselves. So like that's one way I work on things and try different things. But the way that I kind of just like formulated what works for me is I realized that I like to self-reflect. I like to take time in the day to just think about myself and think about my goals and my values. So that's something I do, even if it's just 5 minutes. I love to do it for an hour. The hour days are the best ones, but like you don't have time for every day, and that's normal. And then also I like to listen to podcasts, just like energy podcasts or like motivation podcasts or like for self-motivation. I like to listen to people and just like hear what they have to say about it, and it really inspires me because you can only do so much with your own mind, but listening to others just gives you more knowledge and ability to work on your mental health. But yeah, mental health is so important to me, and it really drives me to succeed in every aspect of life.
I used to be really bad with dealing with stress, and I didn't know how to deal with stress at all. I used to cry a lot and have a bunch of mental breakdowns. But over the years, I think I've become more mature, and I've just had a lot more experiences, and I've made sure to learn from those bad experiences. And our coaches too have invested a lot of energy and time into teaching us techniques on how to deal with stress and certain situations with and approaching obstacles with a positive mindset. So I feel like I've gotten a lot better with stress. Of course I have my moments, but what works best for me is honestly music. Like I've learned that when I'm sad, I can either listen to a really sad song or a really happy song.
How I deal with stress usually is I always talk to my teammates. They always help me get up out of a mood if I'm in it. I always talk to my mom. Always. I also like to have like fun times with my teammates and hang out with them, and it usually gets my stress to go away.
I think number one thing that I would say helps in motivation and working really hard is knowing that you love your sport and finding the reason that you love it. Because for me, I am in love with art and I love everything artistic, and synchro is just that. It is it is a way to express. It's a way to, I don't know, it's just a way to be beautiful in a different way, and that's the reason I love synchro, is just because I can express myself and I can look at other people and I know what they're feeling. And I think whatever sport you're doing, I think don't think about going pro and or even just like reaching for higher goals without knowing that you love it yourself. And finding that love for the sport will give you the motivation and the love for the hard work that comes with it and all of the things that are going to be hard along the road, getting to wherever you want to be. And I think that's what I'd tell someone is find your love for the sport. And you?
My tips for young athletes are really just to build a strong foundation. I think that there appears to be a lot of shortcuts in our sport that you can take to skip steps and to get better faster. But I think those will only hurt you later on because bad habits are hard to break. For example, don't just stretch your right split because it's better. Make sure your left one is just as good because your hips need to be even to avoid injury. Learn how to scull the right way. Get a basis of height as soon as you can because this is just going to benefit you later on. So take your time and learn how to do things the right way first so you don't have to deal with the bad habits later.
I would say don't stay in your comfort zone ever, because staying in your comfort zone is very dangerous and it will halt your path in success, and nobody wants that. So try testing your limits and you will be surprised on what you find out.
Greatest tip that I can give to aspiring athletes that want to be in my position is to just work hard. I know that's like a generic and cliche thing to say, and I know people just think about it all the time, but I'm going to explain why. Let's say when you grow older and you think about your life right now, you're not going to remember the time when you won a gold medal. Of course, yeah, you will, but you're going to remember the experiences. You're going to remember the days when you wanted to quit. You're going to remember the sad days. You're going to remember the days when you were sick. You're going to remember the days when you were happy. But all those days, you're still going to work for your goal and work as hard as you can. So you want to remember those days that you did everything that you can possible to make your goal. And let's say you don't make it, that's okay. But knowing yourself within that you did everything in your power that you could and you worked hard, that's the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. Because at the end of the day, your experiences come from you. And if you don't work hard, then it's not your goal because you don't want it completely. And 2, be yourself. Everyone's unique and everyone has something different to offer. So find what's your strength and use that to make you stronger, because you right there, you're unique.
I think that's it. Thank you.